Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And the BC Lions have announced another re-signing as Sean Whyte has re-signed with the Lions on a one-year deal. He will remain as their kicker. Sean Whyte has been probably one of, if not the most accurate kickers in the past few years and has done very well. This is going to be his 19th CFL season, as he started back in 2009 with the Lions. Rick, opening thoughts?
Probably, I would say, could be his potential last contract.
Yeah, I'm going to say that this is either his last year or his second last year, I imagine.
I mean, I can't see with
how old
he is. I can't see him kicking after.
Well, maybe he wants to be able to say he did 20 seasons in the CFL. In which case, he did one more. Because, to be fair, he's 40, but also Rick, he's still what's his accuracy right now? He's still sitting at 95%. So it's not like he's lost a step. He hasn't. You know what I mean?
True.
So there is that. Although it's interesting. So he, in 2009, he starts in the CFL. He starts at the BC Lions, plays 2 seasons there, then plays for Montreal for 5 years, then plays in Edmonton from 2016 through 2021. So he played on both the Edmonton Eskimos and the Edmonton Elks. And then the last 4 years has returned back to BC, which makes sense. He was born in White Rock, BC. And so he's a national, but also he's a local, so it makes sense that he wants to be there. And every single year in the CFL, he's always been above 80% besides his rookie year. That was the only year he was lower than 80%. And even then, the majority of those seasons, he's been in the 90s, including into 2010, he was 100%. Now, keep in mind, that was only six field goals on 6 attempts, but he didn't miss any. So 2 games played, but he did very well in that. But he's been extremely consistent and actually has gotten a lot better even over the course of his career. Because if we look at 2011 through 2013, 86.5%, 80.5%, 82%, 87%. Then he bumps it up to 92.3, 93.8, 93.8, 90%. Dips back down, but now he's been hovering in the mid-90s for the past, 3 to 4 years, as he's 2022, 92.3%, 94.3%, the next year, 94.3%, and then 95.1%. Now, one of the ways that they've done this is, credit to the BC Lions, the way they've extended kind of the life for their kicker in this league is they've started kind of, and this is one thing that has kind of been good to him, is in the sense of, not that they don't go for long kicks. They will go for long kicks, but they don't go for as many of them. The Lions try their best to really get him into a bit more of a comfortable range, which firstly, all teams should do that generally. If you're constantly kicking from 60, then you have a problem. But the Lions recently, and with the way that the team has gotten better, it's helped get them a little bit closer for a lot of these kicks. But even then, it's impressive that he's still that consistent. Because even if you take a lot of the best kickers and you have them kick a billion, 20, 30-yard field goals, they're going to miss one here and there. It's going to happen. It's just shit happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a high-stress position. That's what people have to realize, in the sense of, realistically, how many kicks do they make in a game? Not counting kickoff. I'm not counting kickoff. I'm talking placeholder kicks. Maybe 3, 4, maybe a little less even. So it's one of those things where if they screw any of them up, people will be like, they didn't have a good game. If you're any other position, if you're a receiver and you drop one catch, but you make all the other ones, you make some damn good ones, then you're fine. If you're a kicker and you miss one kick, people's opinion on you is going to be that you kind of suck. You know what I mean? So that's where I have to give some serious credit to Sean Whyte in that regard, because of how consistent he is. And even if we look at, for example, his past few years, as much as, again, he's not a guy that typically is going for a lot of long kicks, he certainly has been able to make it. 2025, he went for one kick that was over 50 yards and he missed it. But in 2024, they went for 5 and he went 4 for 5. And even then, if you look at any kicks between 40 and 49 yards, both this year and last year, he went 10 for 11. Only missed 1, you know what I mean? So above 90% in that regard. So I think that this makes total sense. Because at this point, realistically, the BC Lions will keep extending his contract indefinitely, just in the sense of that there's no... Like, he's not regressed. If he had regressed, then maybe the Lions would be like, you know what, we're going to move on. But because he's still so consistent, he essentially, his career can go as long as he wants until either he starts regressing a lot, which there's no indicators of, or he just wants to retire. Sean Whyte is 40, you know what I mean? So he's very much at that age where if he wanted to retire, nobody would question it, you know what I mean? So I have to imagine this feels nice for him to be, kind of have that power, have that control. He can play as long as he want, you know? And even his career field goal percentage is 88.4%, which is insane in the sense of when you count a lot of kickers would like to have that on their good year, let alone get that when you factor in even like their rookies, like, you know, because there's going to be times where you have that early struggle, you know what I mean? Where you're trying to adjust, but he's been so consistent. Like, even if we look at his career accolades, he's a 3-time CFL West All-Star, 2023, 4, and 5. He has a CFL East All-Star in 2013, 2-time CFL All-Star in both 2023 and 2024. He won the Lou Heyman Trophy in 2011, which is the trophy awarded to the most outstanding player in the East Division. He won the Dave Dryberg Memorial Trophy in 2019, which is given to the top scorer in the West Division. However, unlike most CFL trophies, there's no actual East Division version of that trophy. And of course, in 2015, he won the Grey Cup with the Montreal Alouettes. And the BC Lions recently, in these past few years, they've really been on the hunt to get in, and they've just been denied constantly year after year by a Blue Bomber team, and then this past year by a Saskatchewan Roughrider team. They're very close. They're absolutely on the cusp of a Grey Cup appearance, and it will happen in the next few years. We'll just have to see if Sean Whyte is still in the league at the time, if he or if he isn't. I imagine that he's going to do what he can to try to get him back to that this year. But all in all, this is a signing that makes total sense for the BC Lions.
I mean, depends on how small of a window things get.
Well, yeah. Well, and you know what it is? It depends on, like, because Nathan Rourke's going to be there for a long time. You know what I mean? And
but
with that, they're always
you
got to
remember,
talent.
just because Nathan Rourke's there doesn't mean nothing, because you could have Nathan
I wouldn't
Rourke
say it means
there,
nothing.
But what I'm saying is, you may have... Okay, I'll use this as an example, even though we're not talking about them.
Okay.
Take Toronto, for example. You have Chad Kelly there, but you don't have a running back. You may have receivers,
no,
but
this
you
is
don't
true.
have...
This is
That's
true.
what I'm saying. So it all depends on...
That's 100% true.
Like, who would have thought Saskatchewan would beat them in the West semifinals? You don't know that.
Fair enough. Here's what I will say. That's true in the sense of there absolutely needs to be more talent around. It's not just him. I do believe that Nathan Rourke is a bigger draw for talent than Chad Kelly. That's not because of Chad Kelly's talent. That's because of other issues with Chad Kelly, which don't need to be discussed. You know what they are. I know what they are.
No, I know. All I'm saying is, just because Nathan Rourke's there, doesn't guarantee them anything.
Oh, it's no guarantee. Nope, it's not.
Take Edmonton Oilers, for example. They have Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is the perfect example. Just because you have a Connor McDavid, Nathan Rourke doesn't necessarily guarantee that you...
True, although I will say the NHL salary cap is a little bit more stringent than the
but
CFL.
You get where I'm
coming
from, though.
No, I get the point. I'm not saying that him alone will get him there. Trust me, there's no guarantees with that. I'm just saying when you have a high key player, provided you have the cap leeway, which the Lions do, to bring talent in, there will be players that will want to play with that. You know what I mean? If you're a receiver, do you want Nathan Rourke thrown to you? I think the answer is hell yeah. You know what I mean? But anyways, Sean Whyte video. In my opinion, this makes sense for the Lions. You know what I mean? If he has not regressed, so there's no sense to look to replace him. I think the Lions would be smart to have a young kicker in the system, just with the understanding that this guy will retire at some point. He's not playing until he's 45. That's not happening. Just in the sense of you just don't see it. So I find that extremely unlikely. And so having a young guy in the system that can eventually take the reins and learn something from a guy like Sean Whyte, very wise. But Sean Whyte can retire whenever he wants. He's not this year, though. He's sticking around with the BC Lions. And I imagine his numbers will be very similar. I'll put it this way. Even if there is any regression, I don't see him going lower than 91%. He's at 95. He's been hovering at 94. Even a year before that, he was 92. I'd say that I can conservatively say he'll be at least 91%. After that, we'll see where exactly, but so.
So I will say, before I agree with you and say, okay, he's going to have right around this, let's get to 2027, see how things go with the new rules first.
Well, to be fair, we don't know if he'll be there around that. He might retire after 2026.
That's what I mean. So,
yep.
No, I'm just saying, like kicker-wise, gotta see what the new rules
I am
are
predicting
like
just for 2026. I'm not predicting 2027 because that is a whole different ballgame. It's only a one-year deal. That's why I'm only predicting 2026. If there's 2027, we'll deal with that a year from now because that will be a factor. You're 100% right on that. But I think that's pretty much all I got. I think this is a good move for the Lions. Is there anything else you got there, Rick?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord where we discuss all things CFL related. Also some NHL stuff. So make sure you guys go there. Keep the conversation going. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video, and we'll see you guys next time.